Look at a normal week and count the hours that are truly yours. Not surviving, not recovering, yours. For a lot of households, that blank space is almost gone. A rich person is not someone with a full closet. It is someone with unclaimed hours. By the end, you will know how to read your calendar like a wealth statement and reclaim one real block. Across 6 studies with 4,690 adults, researchers found that people who prioritized time over money reported greater well-being. Income alone did not explain the difference. The orientation toward time mattered. This is easy to miss because money progress and calendar progress are not the same. The account can improve while the week gets tighter. That gap is where people feel successful and still exhausted. Fire conversations often describe freedom as control of weekdays. That line lands because it is practical. If every Tuesday is already sold, the dream of freedom is still theoretical no matter what the net worth chart says. Curious Neighbor asks the fair question: if income went up, why does life still feel owned by the schedule? Because a raise that funds more obligations can buy status without buying hours. Here is the reframe. Wealth is not only what sits in accounts. Wealth is unclaimed hours, time nobody else has already booked with bills, debt, commuting, or mandatory recovery. Unclaimed hours feel like choice. You can rest, you can see people, you can learn something, you can do nothing useful on purpose. The point is that the hour belongs to you. A claimed calendar feels like obedience. Even the quiet moments are not free. They are leftover scraps after money obligations and work recovery have taken the first cut. Bills do not only take money. They take evenings through admin, worry, and the overtime needed to keep up. If your nights are owned by catching up, the household is paying twice. Money can buy time, but only when it protects hours. Lower fixed costs, shorter travel, less debt pressure, and a buffer all do the same quiet job. They keep future weeks from being pre-sold. This is not only about paying someone to do chores, that can help. The deeper move is designing a life where fewer hours are claimed in the first place by the money system around you. Debt is a calendar claim, not only a money claim. A payment that forces overtime or weekend catch-up is buying yesterday's purchase with today's free hours. That is why low payments can still feel expensive in time. Most households drift into one of 3 calendars. Same pattern each time, vibe trade-off hurdle. The goal is not perfection, it is noticing which pattern owns your week. Calendar 1 is income max. The vibe is ambitious. Every open hour looks like a chance to earn more, prove more, or catch up. Progress feels visible because money is moving. The trade-off is that earnings can expand while free hours shrink. If the extra money immediately funds a tighter lifestyle, the calendar never gets paid back. The hurdle is mistaking motion for freedom. Being busy with earning can feel responsible, while quietly training your household to treat blank time as waste. Extra work can still be smart when it has a finish line. The difference is purpose. Temporary overtime that buys a buffer or clears. A calendar thief is different from endless earning that never returns hours to the week. Calendar 2 is cost min that steals hours. The vibe is careful and frugal. The household saves money in clever ways and pays in travel time, repair time, and constant logistics. The trade-off is classic. A lower cash cost can create a higher time cost. If the week loses evenings to commuting or endless DIY, the saving may not feel like wealth at all. The hurdle is comparing only the money column. Frugality is useful. Frugality that permanently claims your best hours needs a second look. Calendar 3 is time-affluent design. The vibe is quieter, there are still obligations. The difference is protected blank space that is treated as a real asset, not leftover scraps. The trade-off is saying no to some money and status opportunities. You may earn a little less, upgrade slower, or look less impressive online while your week becomes more livable. The hurdle is social pressure. Many cultures treat empty time as laziness. Protecting unclaimed hours can feel awkward until you remember what those hours are for. Here is the middle turn. Some of the smartest looking money moves are calendar thieves, the upgrade that raises fixed costs. The commute that owns the evening, the debt that forces overtime, the win on paper can lose the week. This is where people get caught. A raise arrives, lifestyle steps up immediately, and the household never converts the extra income into blank hours. The calendar stays just as owned, only the scenery gets nicer, so pause on this privately. If your income rose next month, would you buy back hours, or fill the calendar with a more expensive version of the same trapped week? For renters and commuters, location is often a time decision dressed up as a rent decision. The cheaper place only wins if the hours lost to travel are worth less than the cash saved. For parents and carers, unpaid hours are already claimed. Time freedom is not unlimited leisure. It is enough protected space that the household is not running only on leftover exhaustion. Near retirement, the trap is postponing all free hours to a future identity. Some planning is wise. But a decade with no unclaimed hours is still a decade of your life. Now the sober part, not every open square is freedom. Some free time is just recovery debt and distraction after a claimed day. Trap 1 is mistaking scrolling for unclaimed hours. If the only open time is numb recovery, your calendar still owned you. Ownership means you could have chosen something else on purpose. Trap 2 is storing all freedom in retirement. A long-term plan matters, so do small reclaimable hours now. Waiting for a distant finish line can quietly make the middle of life disposable. Trap 3 is buying symbols that need your calendar. Some purchases look like wealth, and then demand cleaning, driving, managing, comparing, and paying. The object owns hours after the excitement fades. Research across 6,271 adults in 4 countries found that people who spent money on time-saving help reported higher life satisfaction. That supports a simple idea. Time stress is not a personality flaw. It is a design problem money can sometimes reduce. The hidden cost is opportunity you never see. When the week is pre-sold, you do not only lose leisure. You lose the chance to choose better work, better rest, or better relationships when they appear. Health and relationships usually pay first when hours are scarce, not because people do not care. Because claimed calendars push care to the leftovers, and leftovers are a weak foundation for a life. The practical move is a 1-week calendar audit. No shame, no productivity theater, just an honest map of who owns your hours. First, highlight every block claimed by earning, commuting, debt pressure, money admin, and mandatory chores. Be honest. If an hour exists only because bills demand it, it is claimed. Second, separate recovery from freedom. Rest can be chosen and healthy. Collapse after claimed day is information. It tells you the week is overdrawn. Third, count the hours that were truly unclaimed, not perfect hours. Hours where you could decide. That number is your current time-wealth reading. Fourth, name the biggest hour thief. Often it is commute, overtime used to service lifestyle, money admin chaos, or maintenance for things you do not love. One thief is enough to work on. Fifth, reclaim one recurring block this month. Move one obligation, cut one low-value errand, change one commute pattern, automate one money task. The win is a protected square, not a total life reboot. Write the free block into the calendar like a real appointment. If it stays invisible, it will get donated to whoever asks first. Visible time is easier to defend. Use money where it frees hours with the least drama. Lower a fixed cost that forces overtime. Shorten a brutal commute if you can. Reduce debt pressure that owns weekends. Pay for help only after the week design is cleaner. Progress can look small from the outside. One protected evening. A Saturday morning that is actually yours. A weekday that ends without panic. That is time-wealth compounding. Then guard the gain. The moment a blank block appears, something will try to fill it, a new upgrade, a new side task, a new obligation that sounds reasonable. Freedom needs a fence. You are not behind forever if your calendar is packed. You are looking at the real scoreboard. Stuff can wait. Unclaimed hours are how freedom shows up before the big net worth milestones arrive. Small hours still count. A short walk you chose. A meal without rushing, an afternoon without earning, these are not prizes for later. They are practice for the life your money is supposed to support. In couples and shared households, talk about ownership out loud. One person's overtime can quietly claim both calendars. Protect shared free time and individual free time, or resentment will do the accounting for you. Back at that opening week, the point was never a fancier closet, it was ownership. When money starts buying blank hours, wealth stops being theoretical and starts showing up on Tuesday. Keep rechecking. Raises, moves, new debt, and new care duties rewrite the week quietly. A calendar audit every few months keeps freedom from drifting away while the bank balance still looks fine. Measure wealth in unclaimed hours. Build a calendar you own before you build a lifestyle that owns you. Subscribe to this channel for more clear money steps like this.